Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hi, my dear. Good morning and welcome. I'm Reverend Cynthia Epps, one of the prayer chaplains here at Unity of Gaithersburg, and it is my joy to begin our time together with prayer. As we get seated and settle in, let's take a deep breath in and get connected to our hearts. Another one. As we get grounded in spirit. We get grounded in love. Good morning, sweet Holy Spirit. As I connect my heart with this congregation, I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to pray what's on my heart, and what's on my heart is blast off, God. Not a blast off of war, but a blast off of peace, a blast off of joy, a blast off of concession where people come together to talk and not kill. We see Ukraine at peace. We see Russia pulling back. We affirm peace, God. We affirm love, God. Collectively, as we gather our minds and gather together, we can stop war. We have to believe that we can. And so I walk by faith, not by sight. I'm not heartbroken. I'm not disheartened, because there's a blast off. There's a blast off where all the ugliness and chaos throughout the world can turn around. I believe it, God, and I affirm it. I affirm peace and love in this congregation, and I know that it's here. For that, I say thank you. And so it is. Amen and amen again. Amen. If you're here joining us for the first time, we're delighted to welcome you into our sanctuary and our sacred cyberspace. You can pick up a welcome packet from the table at the back of the sanctuary. If you have questions, feel free to send us an email or call us. Our contact information is on our website, unityofgaithersburg.org. Now is the time to turn off our cell phones. So everybody's cell phones is already turned off, okay? Okay, we gotta work. We gotta wait for Brad. Also, lentil books are available for you to pick up from the table in the rear of the sanctuary. For another note, we got some good news. We have joy to share with you. Our very own Michael Kaiser, facility manager, has welcomed a new son into the world. But listen to this name. His name is Cyrus Dominic Kaiser. But listen up. He was born on 02/22/2022. So we have an addition to Unity of Gaithersburg, and we look forward to him coming here, and we extend our congratulations and thanksgiving to his family. This week we're highlighting our community core value. Please join me as we read it together.
Yes!
Yes, but you over on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm behind today. So I was literally, and I apologize to Keith and maybe Edie, but mostly to Keith, because that kind of thing makes people who plan panic. And you know, when you accept any responsibility, whether it is taking this gum wrapper to the garbage or creating world peace, you have a responsibility to show up. So I apologize to Keith publicly for any panic I created that started before I got up here. Okay, so as we go along today, we have some transformational opportunities to talk about. The first one is there's a prosperity. Now, see, we got edits. Now, this is the thing. You kind of prep a little bit, whether you think I do or not. You prep a little bit, and you think you're together, and then that very organized person who got you here throws you a curveball. So, Keith, don't. All right, thank you. Prosperity team. There's a brief initial Zoom meeting on Tuesday, March 1st at 7 p.m. Everybody who's interested should show up. I think we all need to get there. I could use more prosperity personally. I'm sure we could use more prosperity in this unit. And this world, it takes, none of us are beginners here because we're here. But this idea of the prosperity doesn't have a dollar sign on it is an important adjustment, I believe, for the linear thinking we are often presented. All right, the next thing is SEE Week, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting that a rather small congregation has been able to support this thing forever. Am I allowed to take this off when I'm up here? Good God, because I'm fogging up, and it's like that's creating more catastrophes. It is going to keep us here much longer than you want. All right, so SEE Week, but we really, we should be very proud, even if you don't do anything with it. You should be proud you're part of a body of people that somehow figures out how to sponsor not only a national, but an international class structure at a little old Gaithersburg. So it's coming up. If you've never done it, it's fascinating. If you have done it, you're probably going to go back because people tend to love it a lot. Having fun. Okay. I should have read this. Huh? Yes, I do. Please come speak.
Yeah, it is a little out of context, so thank you for the flexibility. So, there's these underdog holidays that a lot of people don't even know about. There's a whole list of them, and we said we need to bring some silliness into the work. And so we're going to start celebrating some of these underdog holidays. The first one coming up is Dentist Day. March 6th. And so the invitation here is one, selfies of bright smiles. If you're here in person, we'll take pictures of you. Bring props if you want to. And so some of you know Jennifer did a holiday costume last Halloween, I think it was, with a dentist and but whatever. Bring a toothbrush. We don't care. Just have fun with it. And we've invited the kids, so Beth is real excited. I think the kids are going to have fun with this. So be part of the silliness. Bring your silliness. We'll be having a couple of these. One of the ones, I'll just give you a quick preview, is Something on a Stick Day. So to be determined what that means. More to come. So thank you very much.
I think a used COVID test would be fine. Thank you. And those are ready. Okay. Yeah, Mike, thank you for your words, just like we planned. Okay, moving on. All right, so having fun. I heartily advise we try to do that. Women's retreat. We have disappointed them so wholeheartedly they have to retreat. All right, so April 8th through 10th, and there's more information online because all I did was I turned the page and went women's retreat, and I got jealous. I said, where is the men's retreat? And then I went, would you go, Brad? I don't know. You never step outside your comfort zone. Who knows? All right, so after service today, in person and online, they're going to have a prayer. Cynthia, right here, doing it. Mabanza's doing it. I'm still working with that name. I really am. Morzende. I should stand in front of the chalkboard and write it 100 times, as I said. Morzende is online to help us. And these people who officially go into this capacity often have done lots of beautiful things for us every day as we draw on them. And so as I go to that, I think my last assignment is today's daily word. All right. Today's daily word is comforted. I am enfolded in God's comforting peace. I like to travel through life lightly with a happy heart. But sometimes I am laid low by a seeming insurmountable obstacle or loss. I understand the painful periods visit everyone occasionally. I open to my own feelings of sadness and sorrow and seek the comfort of God's presence in myself and in my loved ones. I got to pause for 1 second. You know, I was looking for this place for a long time in my life, a place where I could hold my understanding of Christian spirituality with my own lab results from my experience in the universe being much larger and more mystical than they were telling me in certain printed materials I was being given. But always, one of the opportunities one has is to create new miracles and make new magic in their life. And one of the things that happened when I came to Unity was I met a woman named Mitzi Mullane Roseman Pierre. And she was a very dynamic and determined woman who, when I met her in '97, she already had been suffering from lupus for the better part of the '90s. And Mitzi was just an amazing woman, a teacher. She passed on Thursday. And this has been a long time. It's been something the universe has been preparing us for, and certainly punishing her for hanging on so long. But I feel that because my connection, and many people's connection, began in this room, and though she has not been a member for many years, she is a memory that is attached to this building for me in some ways. And she is a woman that if you had known her, you would have loved her. And if you did know her, know how much all of us that love her are feeling this week as we send her into the ether to dance on the other side on our behalf. So I apologize if I'm fired. God bless you. All right, so let's go back to comforted. I am enfolded in God's comforting peace. I like to travel through life lightly with a happy heart, but sometimes I'm laid low with a seeming insurmountable obstacle or loss. I understand that painful periods visit everyone occasionally. I open to my feelings of sadness and sorrow and seek the comfort of God's presence in myself and in my loved ones. As I become willing to embrace my feelings while I process my pain, I trust I will be comforted. Pain has come to pass. God's love and strength remain and will be with me always. I am grateful for the encouragement of family and friends. Their loving support comforts me. Even when no one is by my side, I know I am not alone. I find comfort in the Christ presence within me. I move bravely through the pain, enfolded in the comforting peace of God. And from the Bible, I was going to give it a nickname, and I decided better. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Matthew 5:4. Thanks, you all. See ya.
It used to seem to me that my life ran on too fast, and I had to take it slowly just to make the good parts last. But when you're born to run, it's so hard to just slow down. So don't be surprised to see me back in that bright part of town. I'll be back in the high life again. All the doors I closed, one more will open up again. I'll be back in the high life again. All the eyes that watched once will smile and take us in. used to be the best, to make life be life to me. And I hope that you're still out there and you're like you used to be. We'll have ourselves a time and we'll dance till the morning sun, and we'll let the good times come in, and we won't stop until we're done. We'll be back in the high life again. All the doors are closed one time, we'll open up again. We'll be back in the high life again. All the eyes that watch will want what's in, and we'll drink and dance and one hand free, and let the world back into me. And oh, I'll be a sight to see, back in the high life again. High life. We'll be back in the high life again. All the doors are closed one time, we'll open up again. We'll be back in the high life again. All the eyes that watch once more will smile and take us in, and we'll drink and dance with one hand free, and have the world so easily. And oh, we'll be a sight to see, back in the high life again. High life, back in the high life.
Guys, that was great. Just great. I have the honor to introduce our speaker. He's Reverend Raymont Anderson, and he will be delivering our message and meditation pre-recorded video today. He has been a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration. He lives his bliss as a teacher, American Sign Language interpreter, a performing artist, a visual artist, an author, a martial artist, mentor, father, grandfather, and much more. His talk today will be about renewing new thought. Everyone, let's welcome Reverend Raymont Anderson.
Namaste and greetings. Unity of Gaithersburg, thank you so much for once again availing me the opportunity to share some time with you. And as always, my beloved brother, Reverend Ogan, thank you for availing me this opportunity as well. Today, we are going to chat about this idea of renewing new thought. Okay, take that in for a second. Renewing new thought. And if I were to ask any of us who are gathered here today, when did the term new thought sort of, more or less, when did it officially become part of our lexicon in the way that we use it to mean a certain spiritual or religious teaching, a philosophy, a way of life? When did that term generally, because it depends on who you ask, like some of the dates may tweak and change, but generally, when did that come into being? I'm gonna pause and let you marinate on that for a second. And the answer is, if you said or thought Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, somewhere around the 19th century, 1858, 1859-ish, somewhere around about, because he is labeled as, or he is given credit for being the founder of, or the father of New Thought. So it's been around for a minute. And yet the question that comes is, okay, that was 1850 something. It's 2022 right now, right? Because I'm still doing COVID years. It's 2022. Okay, so it's been quite a while. What's new? Like right here and right now, what's new about New Thought? Are we still recycling the same old quotes, the same old phrases, the same old passages, the same old way? You know, when I was a Christian, fundamental Christian, even before becoming an ordained Christian minister, I had this idea, this question. We say the same Bible passages in the same way. We never really dive in and do an exegesis of this text. Why not? This was written for people who, like, they didn't have phones. It's a different era now, different politics, different system of different foods, different clothing, and we still reciting this like it was yesterday. What's new about New Thought? Well, according to Wikipedia, a very trusted source. No, according to Wikipedia, because they give this nice little condensed version of the chief tenets of New Thought. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, the chief tenets of New Thought include this idea of infinite intelligence, or God, that it is omnipotent and omnipresent. Okay? Infinite intelligence, God, omnipotent and omnipresent. Okay? Then, spirit is the ultimate reality. Okay, gotcha. The true human self, or selfhood, is divine. Okay, I'm still with you. I got you. Then there's divinely attuned thought is and I don't like this next word, but divinely attuned thought is a positive force for good. I don't like using these terms positive and negative anymore. Like, I've worked on shifting that, because positive and negative, there are times when positive is actually the bad thing. Oh, you tested positive for COVID. That's not, you tested positive. That's not a good thing. And we use positive like it's universally good, and negative as if it's universally bad, even though yin yang, right? So divinely attuned thought is a life affirming force for good. Okay. Now here we now pause on this one, because this one, woo, they getting into some metaphysical bypass with this one, but let's keep in mind, this is why I say, what's new now about New Thought? Because the founders of agreed with this idea that all disease is mental in origin. Now, unless you're talking Kabbalion, where it says this is a mental universe, well, if it's a mental universe and all is mind, then yeah, all disease is mental in origin, because like that's where we're coming from. So it's all the same thing. All disease is rooted in spirit in some way, because there is only that which God is. So that means whatever is happening. So I recently had a tooth extracted and there was an infection, but the thing that creates infection is created in the body, germs and viruses and all that stuff. But God is all there is. So even those germs and viruses, et cetera, that create infection are still within the allness that is God. And when that imbalance happens, boom, infection, boom, disease, et cetera. But all disease is mental in origin. And we know that people have used that to mean what was in your consciousness. You caused that. You must have been thinking about that. And then lastly, Wikipedia says one of the chief tenets is that right thinking, right? Right thinking has a healing effect. So we would have to break down this idea of right thinking. Maybe it's effective thinking, maybe it's thinking in alignment with health, wholeness, and well-being, because then that causes certain actions. But that's par for the course for this present moment. Because what I want to do is shift into this idea of what does any of that mean? And not only what does it mean intellectually, because we can pontificate and marinate and meditate and conjugate and, all that stuff for eons, because people have. But it doesn't do anything until it becomes a practice. So if I were to say the practice of right thinking has a healing effect, then what is the practice? What is the thing I am doing? What is the action it is calling me to do because of this thing that I believe? If I believe that effective thinking has a healing effect, then what do I do to ensure that I am thinking rightly? Thinking in a manner that is healthy and well, like whatever that is. What am I demonstrating? What is the evidence within my life based upon my beliefs? Now, we could do the same thing with the 5 principles of unity. There is only one power and one presence in, through, and as the universe, God the good. It is active in my life. Okay, what does that mean? And what does it look like to practice that as a belief? So our essence is of God. Therefore, we are all inherently good. Even the person who just joined the KKK, yes, even they are inherently good, and yet their actions, right? So we would really have to, because then we say, well, the actions, same thing. Infection, what am I called to do to restore homeostasis and health and well-being to my body temple? Racism, sexism, all that stuff is an imbalance. It is an infection. If I am saying that all the essence is of God and that all people are inherently good, then when I see something or someone who is out of balance with an infection, I am called, invited to do something, to think rightly, because right thinking has a healing effect, and right action, right? Follow me, okay? So anyhow, go on to say this God essence called Christ was fully expressed in the personhood of Jesus. And that same Christness, Christhood, Christ consciousness is inherent within all of us. The spark of divinity is within everyone. What does it mean to live that, practice that, to make it a lived, breathed, engaged, and embodied practice? And we could do this with all 5 of the principles. The idea is renew new thought. Don't simply re-quote. Don't simply re-eat the same meal that, Ogun had me over for dinner for my birthday, March 25th, 1972. And it was a huge banquet. And I'm still eating the leftovers today. Yeah, is it no wonder that I had an infection in my tooth? The food is how old? At some point, it's time to, you could make the same recipe. It's the same lasagna recipe, but it's not the same lasagna from 1972. It shouldn't be the same repetitious words after words after words. It should be renewed, resuscitated, reinvigorated, resurrected as a new life, new thought, truly new thought. So if we're going to say God is good, and we're going to say people are good, and we're going to say thoughts create our experiences, and we're going to say prayer affords us connection, and we're going to say that action is needed because you will know them by their fruits, faith without works is dead. If we're going to say this, then we're invited to a completely different level of how we show up. What do I truly believe in? Because whatever I believe in is what's going to show up in my life. How is my daily practice impacting the world? How am I being a beneficial presence in the world? Like, that's the question we could all ask every morning, every evening. Today, before I go to sleep, in what way did I make the world a better place? Even if it was one person. It doesn't have to be, some grand, I must be like, no. Do what is yours to do in the way that it is yours to do it, and the impact it. There is only one mind, and that mind is God. There is only one life, and that life is God. And anything that Reverend Ogan prays about anything affects everything. Anything that I meditate, peace, well-being for my life. That's my meditation for today. But there is no my life separate from your life. So when I am meditating for my own health and well-being, the energy of that, which exists within the all-encompassing allness, affects everyone in the same way that if I, not that I do this, but if I overspritz myself with cologne and give you a hug and we separate and you're halfway home, you still smell me because the meditation, the prayer, the love, the energy is contagious in that way. So we do nothing that does not impact. But the invitation is to consciously, proactively engage our spiritual practice to say, what am I effectively doing right here and right now to change my paradigms, my consciousness, and that of those around me in terms of how it affects and how it shows up and manifests as the infection of racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, etc. Because if I'm not doing anything about any of that within myself, then what am I really doing? Right? So the invitation is to actively engage in our practice. This idea of rugged individualism, it's become far too easy for rugged individualism to simply mean that's not my problem. That's not my practice. You're supposed to focus on the good and only the good. You're supposed to focus on what you're for, not what you're against. Okay? Oh, and let's not forget the pick yourself up by your own metaphysical bootstraps. See, that's not unity. That's not togetherness. That's isolation and separation. I do me, you do you. And yet, did Yeshua not teach us a very important lesson in the story of the Good Samaritan, where this person is robbed and beaten and left at the side of the road for dead, and many of the pious people, the religious, the sanctimonious people looked and walked away and said, it's not my business. Until this person who felt their spiritual imperative say, yeah, this is my business. This is my business. It's not the whole Cain and Abel thing of, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I am my non-gender conforming siblings' keeper, but I am them. They are me. There is only one. There is only one. So what exactly are we doing? See, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says in Letters from a Birmingham Jail, I must make two honest confessions to you, my Christian and Jewish brothers. First, I must confess that over the last few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride towards freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the KKK, but rather it is the white moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. The one who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal that you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods. I cannot agree with your methods. The actions you are taking, I cannot agree. Who feel that they can set a timetable for another man's freedom. Just be patient and wait. the one who lives by the myth of time, who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season. And he goes on. So if you're not familiar with the letter, I invite you to read it, because the idea is same thing Gandhi said when he said, "When I despair, I remember that all throughout history, the way of truth and love has always won and prevailed. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time, they seem to be invincible and untouchable, but in the end, they always fall." Think of it, always. Now, for me, I want us to renew New Thought to such a degree that we have elevated all of those people who are infected by the infection, the disease, the malware of, I must be a tyrant, I must be a dictator, I must be, so that we are creating the container in which the group consciousness, the collective consciousness that embraces all. So no child need experience bullying and othering because of a speech impediment, or because it's a single parent household, or whatever it is, because we are so enveloped in the concept and the consciousness of it takes a village to raise a child, and we're all someone's children. So in the same way that King is saying, don't be, in the Bible, it says, be hot or be cold. Don't do this lukewarm thing. King is saying that moderate, that lukewarm, that I'm not taking a stand, I'm not taking a stance, I have no position other than, as he called it, the negative piece. This idea of, just, don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. Don't trouble the waters. And yet it is precisely in the troubled waters that healing occurs. It is precisely the agitator in the washing machine that washes the clothes. So if we're going to have new thought and renewed new thought, then we are invited to a whole new level of active engagement in our teaching, our philosophy, not just in our heads, not just in our hearts, but in our bodies, in our hands, in our feet, in our pews and chairs, in our sanctuaries and classrooms, in our town halls and school boards, and. Because until every police station and every courthouse and every penitentiary and every one of these government buildings, Capitol, White House, etc., are filled with the vibrancy and energy of what we are knowing that God is, then we are going to continue to take bites of that lasagna from 1812. We are going to continue to have to put some kind of salve on the wounds that the chains from the transatlantic slave trade have given, ancestral wounds that are still felt somewhere in the being of the Black and brown body. We must demand and be convicted of a completely new thought in the way that Yeshua was convicted, in the way that King and Gandhi convicted, in the way that the Greensboro Four convicted, in the way that people were convicted, Medgar Evers, convicted Malcolm X, convicted Audre Lorde, convicted Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray, convicted and said, not on my watch, not on my watch. If I know that God is all there is, and I know it is possible to heal and restore, then as King said, if the church does not recapture its prophetic zeal, it will become an irrelevant social club without moral or spiritual authority. This begins with each of us right here and right now, recapturing, renewing the prophetic zeal, the power of new thought, the power that says, I am that I am. And because I am that, I know that my words have power. I know that my thoughts have power. I know that my feelings have power. And I know that my actions have power. I know that by my mental equivalent, I change my life experience and by effect, the life experience of all, because nothing happens in isolation when God is a circle, circumference nowhere, center everywhere. We are invited deeply to do the work, to passionately do the work, to lovingly do the work, and unapologetically do the work, individually and collectively. And so we breathe. We breathe as we enter into that space, that consciousness of meditation where we allow all that is as spirit to speak to and through and as us. And so we breathe, realizing we cannot rebreathe yesterday's breath or pre-breathe tomorrow's breath or save a breath for a rainy day. We can only this divine and holy Ruach, breath of God, breathing itself. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Recognizing that there is no space where God is not. There is nowhere to go to find more God other than right where we are now. Simply inhaling and exhaling, allowing the renewing of our minds, the renewing of our thoughts, the renewing of our beliefs and paradigms and consciousness, the renewing in the same way that we upgrade our phones and upgrade a car and upgrade technology, a laptop or a PC or some software, upgrade our beliefs, upgrade our awareness, recognizing that this omnipotent thing that we call God as a power, God being omnipotent. Actually, God is omnipotence itself that expresses as that which is omnipotent, and that power must be ours. Breathe. There is that part of us that is omnipotence itself, omnipresence itself, omniscience itself. The infinite wisdom of creation is available to all of creation, including these individualized expressions that we call our lives. Breathe. I am that. Love. I am that. I am. Powerful. I am that. I am. Living, moving, and having my beingness conscious of the Christ mind. I am that. I am. Breathe. Grateful. joyful, purposeful. I am that. I am. So as we exit this particular meditation, we understand and we recognize that this consciousness that we just anchored into is always available, simply a breath away, a thought away. And at the moment we think, I am that, I am aligned, I am awake, I am aware, I am. We aren't creating it to be so. We are acknowledging and recognizing what already is the truth of our being. And so we breathe and bring ourselves back to the chair and the room, the person to our left and our right, before and behind us, the smell in the room, the sound of laughter outside, whatever is around us, we bring our minds back to it, our awareness back to it, and our senses back to it. And when ready, we open our eyes. I am grateful for every one of you and the work you are doing, and I can't wait until we get to do this live and in person. I love you, and I will see you soon. Blessings. Take care.
There's a storm that's brewing inside of me. Clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I just can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but I'm where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more. The call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? 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 Pulls. Feels like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go. I've got this feeling deep inside, when I get there I will know. Of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I take that step in faith and let my light shine. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for?
You know, those of us who came from a more conservative Christian tradition of the mid-century, last century, I'll tell you, clapping in church still weirds me out. It's like there's one of these things like, Jesus knows, you don't know more praise. No, but I will say that we have been very blessed with incredible musical talent, and many all the time. None any better than this crowd, and more blessed and whatever. But I got to say that John Paul has this voice. I was in the entertainment industry for a long time. Doesn't mean I know anything. I was just there. But John Paul has one of these blessed voices that is, you can't really tell anybody. They either know how to get there or they don't. And the first time I heard him sing, I was like, oh my God, that's like a pro-rock voice. I mean, that's a voice you hear in concert on a stage. And so we're very gifted to have that additional talent given to us. And now open the purses and the wallets and anything else that's got jingle, jangle, jingle in them. And consider this our time of tithes and offerings. A chance for us to give back in any way we can, in any way we're called, in any way we feel. And it is a gift. I've learned that gratitude, honest gratitude, genuine gratitude that springs forth from within, that's not manufactured because you were told to, and is not some sort of prayer chink list you get off every day. Genuine gratitude is a buoyant gift that will keep you very high in the world if you have it. So with that, we have many ways to give, not only in spirit but in dollars and cents. There's an offering box in the back of the room. You can go online to our beautiful website. You can even text give. They have so many ways they can get money from you in the universe now. It's beautiful. More money, more to spend, and more to grow. So with this, we say our blessing, which is divine love, I am, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am so grateful. Have a great week, everybody. I'm not sure what that ditty was, but it's very, very cheery. Thank you. And I apologize because, you know, Keith, you didn't tell me I was supposed to introduce her properly, and like, yeah, I have no manners. Beth, go.
Thank you. Let's bless our youth, and they are a blessing to us, and we did have some join us on Zoom today as well. But I will get started with the little ones sharing, because you know that you are what?
I like the world.
That's right.
I am the light of the world.
And you live as the light. Yes? That's right. So, yes. So they said that part. Let's all together join in and say, we are the light of the world. We live as the light. And to let their light shine and their joy shine, we are going to head out outside so that they can safely let their joy out. And you guys can sing together. Thank you.
Unity of Gaithersburg, we go forward to do the work. We go forth with blast off of peace, love, kindness. Keep Ukraine steadfast in your mind, and so it is. Amen. Amen.